We're really lucky to be partnered with over 33 local government authorities across Australia and New Zealand, and that's pretty exciting since only 20 months ago we were only in a handful, so less than 5. So it's good to see the growth and that councils are getting on board with what we think is important. We saw councils kind of gravitating towards building a portal, right? And portals were perhaps the solution to address this kind of change. However, what we found is that portals still require many different complexities. You need to sign in, you need to store the data. Also, we feel like the time consumption there is wasted, and we could have ratepayers getting this done a little bit faster. Basically, from any rates notice, you scan it and you can see the live balance. Then customers can pay any amount. So could be your default payment system going forward. You could pay flexibly, or you could pay in auto pay, so scheduling it for your future installments. And then we save those details and make it easy so that next time you don't need to enter it all over again, which I know, depending on where you're calling in from today, might be a bit of a pain point. So another thing I wanted to mention before Matt and I get into it is we've launched some cool new smart features. So one of them is the skipper payment. Had Civica approached you to do anything like this before, or is it existing functionality within Civica, or is it something totally new?
It's definitely new. It's not something that we can do with anywhere near the same ease, especially for our customers to be able to sign up and see their balance. There's no way to really do that. You can potentially through the customer portal, but we don't have that product, and they still can't sort of have a payment schedule and manage, put in their bank account details and their credit cards, all that sort of nice stuff that is really the selling point for people being able to manage it themselves.
Were you fearful around any of the different things prior to getting started with a solution like this?
Security becomes probably one of the main things, especially with that IT background and looking after records and security. Everyone's very conscious of being scammed and having their information stolen, and councils can be very cautious in that space. So one of the things was that you don't want it to be onerous on the customer, but you need to make sure that their information is protected. So it's finding that balance. I think Payble does that really well, makes that easy for the customer to get their payment plan in place, but it doesn't risk their information and any risk to council.
Today, if someone puts in a direct debit request form, for instance, and manually writes down their credit card number, or they add their bank account details, any member of staff could view that information. So it's a bit different with Payble, isn't it, Matt, compared to how that works now? You're not able to see all the digits of all the accounts, correct? Which is different to how it was before.
That is correct, and it's just brilliant. Like, we don't have to worry about leaving those forms on their your desk, or being able, other staff being able to get to them inadvertently through whether they're saved on a local drive or in our corporate system or in our records management system. All of those security concerns go away because no one can see them. So
The average level of arrears in urban Victoria, not regional, is currently sitting at 11.83%, which is crazy. It's more than double a few years ago. And on average in regional areas, we've seen an increase of 54% in
wow.
arrears from the year before. So what's amazing is Wellington, in Wellington Shire, you've seen some increase in arrears, but proportionally speaking, it's a lot less, sub 20%. So you know, doing a lot better than average. Have you seen anything that you've implemented to kind of bring that under control or to help ratepayers locally?
For sure, we've implemented a range of things. Payable is definitely a key one because people can request a plan. So they don't have to follow their strict schedule of you have to pay X amount a fortnight or X amount a week to finish your rates out by the end of May next year. they can request amount, and then we can approve that or work with them or send them a link via SMS for a different amount and do all of that digitally, which is brilliant. One of the things that I was really keen to have, and seeing Payble had the integration already set up with Civica, so we didn't have to go and create APIs and integration and mess about with all that. It just came with the product. So because all the rates team live and breathe in rates inquiry, I didn't want to have to go to another portal. So with Payble, as soon as someone sets up a plan, within about 5 minutes, there is an arrangement set up, and we have different what's called payment providers within our arrangement screen, so that we can see whether they're just a normal person paying their rates on time on their schedule, or whether there's someone who's on one of our migrated direct debits, or if they're sort of more your traditional arrears customers. So we've got 3 sort of payment providers, even though they're all managed through Payble. We can distinguish between what they are, but they all show up as an arrangement. Makes it really quick. So customer service can go, oh, they're on an arrangement. And the majority of our arrangements will all end up being in Payble. We only have a few hundred left that are our sort of traditional arrangement where someone's rang up and we've filled it out for them. And for people that are paying on time, we can see they're just Payble, they're a self-managed customer, nice and simple wording. We can see how often they're going to pay, and we don't need the full schedule because they're going to pay on time anyway.
There's a couple of forms to migrate people over. So which one did you choose at Wellington? Did you choose to just keep people on their existing direct debit, or did you cancel it and put them on Payble?
We let people keep their existing direct debit. It was really important to our counsellors that people that had signed up to that service, and one of them was a counsellor, that they were able to keep maintaining that. So we've been able to just migrate all of those people. We sent letters to them advising them that if they wanted to get off, in April or maybe even a bit earlier this year, so that they had plenty of time to cancel their traditional direct debit with us that we were running out of authority, and manage their own payments or sign up to Payble. Either way, it would cancel. We would cancel their traditional direct debit with us, and then we just migrated all the ones that didn't tell us. And now all of those are managed through Payble. We don't have to do anything at all. We don't do any extracts. The rates notice, the Payble scan to Payble is really, the QR code is really prominent. It's straight underneath our address block, so it's quite big and you can see it really easily. We also had for our annual notice a full DL size flyer that explains all about it and the benefits to the customer and how to sign up and all that sort of stuff. So that really helped. It's quite prominent, not as good as Hornsby, but it's quite prominent on our webpage as well. We have a new page we've created, which is manage your rates, and it really focuses on Payble and the key things that people need to know. One of the things I really drive with my team is that we really want people to just consider their rates just like Netflix, and you just pay it over whatever you like, weekly, fortnightly, with your pay, and it just happens. And it's a much lower amount of money, and people can get to it quite quickly.
Matt, would you be able to share roughly some of the numbers that you've seen in terms of offhand? Do you know roughly how many payments you've had through since you went live, or any data you could share with us?
Yeah, for sure. We have 4,000 active customers now, and if I go to payments, so we've got over nearly 25,000 scheduled payments, between now and the end of the year. We've had nearly 10,000 successful transactions, and it just keeps building now. So it starts to be that sort of momentum thing. And with the Payble information being in there, we actually got over 250 grand more than we would in April generally. So that's that sort of spreading out of the rates amount and people being able to pay a lot earlier and getting those weekly schedules happening and being able to feel like the rates burden is lower by spreading it out.